Hey there, Taurus, and welcome to your reading with me, Melissa Joy, here at my channel, Joy to the World. That is right. And you let me know there's a little bit of ants at your picnic. And you're like, yes, and I'm irritated and I'm perturbed. And there's just like this pick, 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 pick. But sit still for a moment. Usually the type of ants that show up at a picnic have no desire to be munching or biting on you, which is our typical association with ants, right? Being annoying because they cause hurt. And they cause it on your person. This is just more of those little things that are part of nature and the environment that are attracted to the sweet things in your life. So sometimes you can do a little bait and allure. Be prepared. Know that it's there and not prepared like, gong, let me come with all my swords and my switchblades and my brass knuckles and all that kind of stuff going on. Because as you practice that here, you're now practicing that against the sweet things in life, and you start leaving the sweet things at home. Dare I invite you, friend? Yes, there will be cards, but dare I invite you to bring the sweet stuff anyway. Continue to bless yourself. Let your life be honey sweet, abundant, because the world card in this deck is the honeybee, pollinating all of life. It is a divine relationship that is so much grander and bigger than you that when you begin to become irritated at it, it shrinks away. The grandness, the sweetness, the innate naturalness, the ease, it all goes away because all your swords and mighty mountains, right, that need to now be moved. But all I'm saying is move to cheese, friend. Move to cheese, but really something sweet. A little piece of muffins, something like that. And just set it off 4, 5, 6 feet away. Maybe 2 or 3 little plants, just a little nugget about like that. We're just using the proverb of a picnic, right, to make it nice and easy. And just be prepared to share a little bit. And the portion that you share is the portion that they get. But when you set it off just a little bit off out of the space, it gives you some room. And then the ants start to draw to that. Watch them. You lead and they will follow. And you're like, I don't want to be followed by ants. No. We're leading them away from your space, right? So that you can have this bit of time to have clearance from the pestilence, the irritation, the irritability. Somebody frustrated because there's lots of irritable up in there. And that's kind of like this lightning like fire. It's almost like rubbing a cat backwards or rubbing sandpaper on your skin and then putting a little salt scrub on there and going, God, that hurts. This is so, I don't want this if it's going to feel like this. And it's like drop part of the sequence. Drop the sandpapering part. All right. You don't have to go at it so hard. Full force. Remember in the beginning we were talking about doing away with your ease, with the sweet, with the grace, with the natural? Because it's trying to get in there and get the point across and get it done. So let's just leave it at that, friend. Let's get you a couple of cards before you jump on out of here. There's that Page of Swords showing up again. It says, oh, really? I think I need to look around a little more and see what's going on. But out behind it is trying to slide out the Four of Cups. The Four of Wands and the Queen of Cups. And this Queen of Cups, see, that's that thing working you. And it's got some moon shiz-diz up in there. And not the kind of moon that you want. And it's coming from the dis-ease of suspicion. You could look at the Cancer part of your chart, the Scorpio part of your chart, and see what planets are there. You could check out those reads. And maybe there'll be some little nuggets of wisdom to soothe your soul and salve your soul over. But I'm just asking you to create the space. Because what I seem to see is the space begins to bring in that bit of clearing. It unblocks your view. Because that Four of Wands, I don't know, y'all. Oh, there. I just smushed it back in there because these are all just trying to fall out of my hand. That's what I mean, that irritability. It's making things weighty and it's slowing you down. It's distracting you because it's pulling you out of yourself and out of your sweetness and getting you off on these other things that are insignificant. But see, it's kind of like people who ride on motorcycles. I don't know if you've ever done it or if you've seen it, but I'm like, hell no. I'm not going to be riding up behind somebody. Maybe around the block or just down the street, because I don't want to sit there and keep my head jutted all the way out. Not my motorcycle, right? And I don't want to stare at the back of somebody's head. So it was never very enticing to me. But there are certain motorcycles where the passenger seat in the back lifts it up so that you get a view over the head of the driver. So you might feel like somebody else is in charge. Somebody else is kind of having that control over you or withholding from you or slowing you down or hindering your progress. But that's a lot of them. What I'm trying to talk about is you. So get back to that part about put those little treats, put those little things, and you're like, well, I'm not going to let people think they can get that from me. Do you realize how much you are giving up in the irritation, in the sandpapering, in the frustrating and all that? Let me tell you, it's way more than if you would just like a child, you know? Their patience is not very long when they're little. And so when mine would interrupt me 2 or 3 times, which is very rare, mine weren't big interrupters, I would tell them, you need to wait. Mom's talking to an adult. You just wait a few minutes. All right, and then I'll be done. But if somehow it kept stringing along, then I would say, pardon me just a moment. And I would just squat down and I'd say, what can I do? What's going on? And in that moment, I'm not necessarily catering to them. I'm easing my whole world, my whole life, my whole environment, because I do have personal commitments, personal values, personal virtues that I appreciate and adore inside of me. And being irritated is not one, let me say, friend. So sometimes that little bit of irritation is trying to get your attention to get you to open your vision to a different way, to a different vista, to a greater expanse. This is you wanting to expand. But when you keep having to do this and rubberneck, that means dilemmas and traumas and dramas and troubles are creeping up. And it's sapping your energy, friend. And it's squandering and it's wasting your greatness on others. But I have a feeling that somewhere in your life you didn't know how to truly focus on yourself. Be self-centered. Be at peace with yourself. That's why we're here at this channel. So they're trying to help us all get there. They're like, oh, can you imagine the shine so bright, like the light bright? When that peg actually gets in the hole is when the light comes on. And the light's always on behind there, right? But that's when it begins to shine through the individual. So anyways, oh, look at that, at the split. It does away with this perpetual death. These cycles of death, of feeling like you have to go through and have the last word, have the last say, take this all the way through, prove your point. There's a point involved, so there's a sword involved. And if there's a sword involved, there's offensive-ness and defensiveness going on. And now there are sides, now there are issues, now there are games. So now instead of being at peace, you're at war. It's as simple as that. All right, so they gave the wisdom at the beginning, so maybe listen on back to it. I could keep going on from here, but you can dig all the way to China. I tell you, you can dig to Australia. You can go to the moon and back to the bottom of the ocean like that Queen of Cups. But the point is, you are valuable. Invest in yourself, my friend. And also don't get tempted off into those little things that have been patterns for you. Life has a new beginning, and it has beauty here. Ooh, they're like, girl, get in there and get us a low card. I sure will. Ooh, I love that deer is here at the bottom because we just had the stag full moon. It's like there's no time like the present. Primed and perfect right now, not stars aligning, not calendaric moments or things like that. It's literally that permission in yourself to be happy right now, right now. Oh, look at that. Straight up in the middle. Look at this. It's kind of like Wilbur and Charlotte's Web. Maybe read the book or go watch the movie if you haven't in a while, or if you haven't at all. Maintain self-worth and self-esteem. And what I'd really say is at that point, it would be value. Value. Because these are kind of like components of the engine, and value is the car. All right? Value yourself, my friend. Hey. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? I'd love to have you here, and maybe share it out with some friends. Anyways, you can leave your comments down below. Always know I love you. Bye.